Hey Eric, this is Grant Putnam. This is the second video. This is going to be referring to all the landscaping. So why don't we start in this corner? We'll go through everything. So as we stand in the front of the house, my suggestion is to transplant this rhododendron and then buy a bigger holly to fill this gap. Okay. Transplant all of the limelight hydrangeas through here, remove this tree, respace the boxwoods, and rethink the design for the front of the house. The lawn just needs proper fertilizing program, more often seeding, and you've got some fungus in the lawn, so I'd probably spray for that. Too much water, so we have to properly adjust the irrigation system. Main thing is trimming all these trees back, way back. I mean, I would even consider trimming these trees, a lot of these lower branches right off, actually, the more I think about it, because you want to get more sunlight in here. So this grass looks better in this area, okay? And then what I would do is think about where your views are coming from. So you've got this wall here. So you're not going to necessarily see too much past this tree going this way, all right? So that's, again, less of a priority area. But starting at this tree, wrapping around this part of the property is more of a panoramic view, and this is where you're going to be entertaining people. So this, I think you should really consider, doing a landscape design and really thinking about this property, how you're going to maximize the aesthetics. All right. So starting here, working our way this way is about 45 feet of plantings in front of this fence. Then we talked about potentially installing a new fence from this wooden fence down to the corner, touching the corner of the shed for privacy, and planting in front of that, because there's definitely not enough sunlight to try to plant evergreen trees. Look, that's an evergreen white pine tree. You see what that looks like? It's very sparse. If you try to plant trees in here, they're not going to look good. There's even something called a taxus or a yew in the back left corner, which is actually considered to grow very well in the shade. If you look at that tree, you can still see it's kind of looks anemic and sparse because, again, lack of sunlight. So do not think about putting evergreen trees through here. It does not make any sense. So definitely a fence, and then shade-loving plants and perennials for color to, again, kind of tie in with this area. You have a panoramic view of color along the back, okay? And back here, you've got some more boxwood. These look like you have more limelight hydrangeas, which again will grow too big, so you probably need to transplant these two limelights. Maybe you can pop those in the front as well. Then you got a bunch of forsythia back here. Same thing, you could use shade tolerant plants. So you remove the forsythia, clean this area up, trim a lot of these branches like we talked about in the other video way back. Allow more sunlight in here, and then plant this area to make it look beautiful, okay? So these plantings then would carry all the way over to the corner. Then you'd pick up with green giant arborvitaes, starting there slightly on a berm so the water doesn't sit on top of them. And you'd carry over roughly 45 to 50 feet of evergreen trees, green giants, probably somewhere 9 to 11 feet tall in this area, okay? Whoever's grinding the stumps, I guess we could just yank these stumps. We could yank these 3 stumps with our excavator. This way you don't have to worry about the roots being in the ground. This stump is going to have to be ground down, I would say at least 18 inches deep, this whole area. And then you can put in topsoil and some sod or topsoil and grass seed. Okay, but these 3 I think we should yank with the excavator. And this one as well, we could yank with the excavator. Then we talked about extending the Cultex system in this area. So you have adequate volume on a heavy rain to grab the water off the roof. Okay. And as we're in the backyard, the other thought was to add plantings around your deck. Okay. So plantings here, adding more stepping stones here. You already have existing stones in the property you could reuse. Then again, adding more plantings through here. And I'd say you could finish at the corner because again, this is not really a visible side of the yard. So what I think my strategy on this is I'm going to give you a quote, but then we're also going to have to do a design for your property. So I'll give you an estimate for putting together a design as well. There's certain items that are going to be really cookie cutter, like for example, the screening for the trees. We're going to be able to figure out how many linear feet, about how many trees you need. I'll give you a sense of cost or a budget of cost for all the plantings along the back. But to really get a quality design and a quality end product, I think we should actually draft a CAD drawing, which is like you're basically drawing on top of a survey where all the plants are located. This way you can make decisions and have different options so you can ultimately get the best possible design. So I'll come up front with the overall cost, which would be a range of cost, for example, for these plantings running along the back. And then before you execute the project, I think we should actually do a scale drawing showing where everything is located, both for the front of the house and for the back. So then this way you can get the highest quality design. All right, and you'll know all your costs up front. I think that's really the best way to handle this.